Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We're over here elevating. Everybody's raising the roof over here, got their hands pumped up. Really exciting day that we have. We have a few great things for you today. And along with always with great things, also comes with some news that may not be so great. So let's get some of the news that may not be the greatest. Let's start with that. And then that way we'll go ahead and go through the rest of our call and we'll focus on all the great stuff that we have. Today, guys, is something that we have been planning for quite some time. It's been, months and months and months in the works with quite a few of our announcements that we were planning for today. As a matter of fact, we were planning all of these things since last year. Some of these things we've been planning since, back in 2020. Can't believe it. It's already April of 2021. Can you guys believe that? Okay. Now, here's a question I have for you. How many of you right now are on track with your specific plan for your goals this year? Raise your hands if you can. Now, I don't have a phone. They don't give me a device in here. So it's kind of like, if you ever seen the Weather Channel, or if you ever seen the people who are the newscasters or whatever it is, they have that green screen, they don't have anything and they're pointing like this. They just kind of know where the states are and stuff like that. Like they're saying over here, California, it's going to be a little cloudy over here, 72 degrees. Over here in New York, we're going to have a little bit of windstorms over here, right? They just know where all that stuff is. So kind of today, I just know where all the stuff is over here. And the only thing I can't see is I can't see your faces. I can't see any comments today. They have prohibited me from looking at any devices because they say I get so attracted to all the devices that I don't look at the camera. So they got this camera way over here, okay? And I'm looking right now, T. Gray's pointing at the camera like that. So I'm looking right through the camera because if I look at a device, I think I'm talking to you and I'm not. That's you right there. But anyway, if you're not, what today is really all about is getting yourself back on track, okay? Getting yourself back on track so that you can actually elevate your goals, elevate your lifestyle, elevate your style of living, whatever those plans are, whether it was just some financial plans, personal goals, whether they were physical goals, whether they were relationship goals, whatever it may be. What today is really all about is giving you some of the tools and the environment so that you can go out there and elevate. Now, a couple things that we had talked about today that we were actually looking to do and bring one of our biggest announcements of the year as well. And it's a pretty big one. And that was the launch of our brand new back office. Our iBuumerang back office was one of the announcements that we were looking to actually make and talk about on today's call. Well, let me share a couple things with you about technology in our back office. Well, if you notice, guys, on April 1, we turned the switch off, and we went dormant for about 36 hours. And we went dormant 36 hours, bringing on all of that new technology that we've been working on for some months now. We've had a sneak peek at it, and I tell you, we actually do love it. But however, here's what took place. You know what? Murphy's Law. Anybody ever heard of Murphy? Murphy came to visit. Murphy, somebody says, well, what is Murphy? Murphy's Law is that saying that whatever can happen and go wrong will happen and go wrong. Well, we planned for Murphy to visit us back in February. Okay. And when Murphy didn't visit us in February, as we were testing, we said, Murphy, come visit us in March. But Murphy, you are not welcome. You are not welcome at all in iBuumerang in the month of April. And guess what? Murphy didn't show up. And I think Murphy didn't get the email until March 30th that night. And Murphy decided to show up. So what does that mean? When we looked at the technology of when we were switching it over to our new back office, Murphy showed up and we saw some bugs. Okay, no pun intended. to myself, but we saw some bugs that were in there that just was not accurate. And we knew that we'd have to take it back down sooner or later to go ahead and fix those, because we couldn't fix that while it was live. And instead of causing some major interruptions while we were launching it or while it was already up, and giving you something that we already knew wasn't what we consider to be first class operational, we made a decision to switch back on the old back office and take a little bit more time to not only fix those bugs, but we're going to troubleshoot and make sure that those bugs that actually showed up at the last moment, make sure for a while and give a couple of our people the opportunity to stress test that website so that we can just continue rolling and running. One of the challenges that we had, even though I can't see anything right now, I can imagine somebody sending me a message saying, could you please slow down for translation? Okay, as I told you, I don't have anything up here, but I can feel the messages that are coming in. So I know we have multiple languages that are tuning in today. And so I will slow down so that, as a matter of fact, I'll take me a little coffee break, coffee sip here, so they can catch up. Because we have multiple languages around the world that are actually being translated for this call here. So what we did is we said, okay, well, we'll stress test the website and we will launch it. And they said, well, we'll be ready in a few days. And what we decided to do is we said, you know what, a few days is good, but we've got some massive plans, some major plans. And we said that we had an executive call. I don't know how many we had yesterday, but we probably broke a record yesterday with the number of calls that we had. It was, anyway, but it was a good thing, always getting the feedback. And when you've got brilliant minds in the room, one of the things that I've learned is that you use them. Okay, when you've got brilliant minds, you use them. And this was including some of our diamonds that we had 2 diamond calls yesterday, and probably, I don't know, 1,000 executive calls that we had. But what we decided to do is say, hey, listen, you guys need a few days to go ahead and get this together. We are not going to do it in a few days. We want to make sure that once we launch this, we're not taking the airplane and grounding it for any major repairs. Let's go ahead, get it all done. Let's do it the way we need it to be done. We're going to stress test it, and then we're going to stress test the stress test. And so what we decided to do is we will move the back office, the new back office launch, we'll move that to Mazatlan at Accelerate, okay? We'll move that to Mazatlan at Accelerate. Now, here's the thing. I don't want to fluff it so much. Was it disappointing to me? It was disappointing to me. But you know what's more disappointing to me? As we have told you that this is the year of the rebound, what's more disappointing to me is to launch something that I know in my spirit is not good enough for you. Knowing that this is not good enough for you, and knowing that there's going to be some disappointment with the bugs that are there, we decided to go ahead and pull it. And we said, I'd rather deal with this for a couple of weeks and continue moving forward than to know that we're going to have to bring this thing and deplane and fix that. So now, here's the other thing that came along with that. What we have done, we have made some very strong investments in our technology, okay? Everything that we have now, we actually own it. We own the code, we own it, and we're not releasing somebody else's intellectual property. And the reason for that is it gives us more control, as I talked about before, and it gives us what we call bespoke service, so that what's working on our site, we're the only ones using that code and that technology And that's going to be a great thing as we build our company, and we're building now for what we know we'll need 10 years from now. Okay. I won't say 20 because who knows whether we'll be even using websites by then. Maybe we'll just think something and you'll see it. Maybe you'll think it and you'll see it in your eyeglasses or your contact lenses or something like that. And we won't even need websites or something. All right. We are building that technology. And with the new back office, we also have designed and developed some new technology for our Ellev8 platform. Well, all of our Ellev8 platform and technology is embedded into the back office. Okay. We wanted one place for everyone to be able to do business and go instead of having to go here, there, and everywhere. So that brings me to another point that may be a little downer for some of you, but here's what I've learned. I've learned that when I find something that's a downer, I find a reason to make it an upper. And that's what we're going to do today. Find a reason to make it an upper. So that means that the official enrollment of purchasing for Ellev8 will not take place today because there's no back office for you to log in and access all of the technology that we have because we just deplaned once again. However, now all of that stuff, I've got it all the way out. It's already done. We've gotten rid of all of the bad announcements. Now let's talk about some of the good stuff. Many of you who are on the call today may be guests of ours. You may be some of our people who are prospective customers or even prospective builders and ambassadors. And number one, I want to say congratulations to you. Thank you for taking an interest in our company. We have actually built a phenomenal business model that is designed for you, your family, at any level of interest that you have. There's people who've joined our company. And those who've joined our company, some have joined for some small reasons. Some have joined for some major reasons. And here's what I've learned. We've got every reason that's been joined has been actually satisfied. What does that mean? That means that iBuumerang is a company that can be for everyone. It can. But what is the difference between that can? The difference between that can is you, is your dream, your vision, your reality, your work ethic, your ability to focus, your ability to work with a team and work with some information, work with leaders who actually are competent, who know exactly what they're doing, and your ability to take that information and go apply it in your business. Some of the small stories I can tell you is this here. I had a lady, and I tell this story all the time. 2.5 years ago, 2 years and 4 months ago, we launched this crazy thing called iBuumerang. And I remember so many people so excited about our offering that we had. And we only had one particular offering, travel savings. That was it. Guess what? It's still one of our most attractive features, especially right now. People are looking to go all over the place, places where they can go. People are going. We're watching our travel numbers just continue to increase, and travel will always be a major part of what it is that we do. And after things take place in cultures or in economy or whatever it is, one of the first things to rebound is travel, because most people have been sitting at home, sitting on their hands, feeling trapped, and they want to go travel. Well, we launched a program about our travel for one reason, and I'll tell you a story that actually has taken place. We launched it because I actually used it as a customer. I was a customer first. I never forget when I got access to this amazing technology. When I got this technology, I had I used it and I went to Las Vegas. And when I went to Las Vegas, I actually checked into the Vdara Hotel, and the Vdara Hotel had actually saved me $200 per night. I was there for 3 nights, $600 savings. And I was wondering on my way there, okay, I know the Vidara is a top-notch hotel and they're giving me $200 off, which was pretty incredible. And they upgraded me to a suite. And I'm thinking, okay, is this suite, do I have to share this suite with somebody else? You know, when you give somebody that type of discount, there's got to be something wrong with it. Is this one of their defective rooms? Is this one of the rooms that they didn't finish and it has no windows whatsoever? And or maybe it's in the basement. And when I got there, they upgraded me to a suite. And that wasn't a part of the deal. They just happened to upgrade me to a suite. I came back and I never forget telling the guys, this is amazing. This is absolutely incredible. I use it somewhere else, and then I use it a couple other places, and I happened to be in Florida, and I used it again, and I thought the world needs to see this. The world needs to have access to this. Why? Because I was so used to paying retail that I would just pay retail. Didn't know that they were behind the curtain pricing. Well, we launched with this product, and I want to share with you one story. I had a lady come up to me one day, and she said, Mr. Buggs, I want to thank you so much for launching. And this is when we first launched. We didn't have Ellev8. We didn't have our crib fully developed. We only had a dream and a vision of what it could be. And this lady came up to me and she said, Mr. Buggs, I want to thank you so much. I said, for what? She says, I want to thank you for launching this opportunity and making it available to the masses. I said, well, you're welcome. She says, no, you don't understand. She says, I was just a customer, not even a rep. She said, I work in sales and I'm not that good at my job. And I go and travel for sales, and I have to use my money and then I have to expense it back. But my income has been so low that it's been times that I've had to pick and choose while I'm on the road, which one of the 3 meals that I eat per day that I have to forego because I just didn't have the travel expense. I didn't have the money. She said, I was doing that and I was feeling let down, and I was feeling less than, just almost less than human because of what I was coming up short. She said, I actually used that platform. It was free. It didn't cost me a dime. I couldn't have even afforded it if I wanted to, but somebody gave it to me. She says, I saved $35 per night on my hotel. So I was gone for a week. And she said, you know what? That was the first time in a while that I didn't have to choose a meal that I was going to miss, because that $35 savings meant the difference between me having all 3 meals and me only having 2. She says, if I never make a dime in this company, I'm grateful just for that one fact. And so, ladies and gentlemen, when I look back and I watch what we've done and the number of lives that's been touched, that's one in particular that will sit with me for a very long time. I never forget, we launched our other product, and we started with our next vertical that was called Vibe Rides, and Vibe Rides was our rideshare program, and we launched that. Actually, it's we're 1 year and 2 days old now. April 1st of 2020 was when we launched, and April 1st, if you remember, in March of last year was when a lockdown, it was almost a global lockdown had taken place, and people said, why would you launch a rideshare company in the middle of a lockdown? Because that was our goal, that was our date. And we said we wanted to get a chance to test it even when rides weren't so abundant. That gives us a chance to test our technology. And we have, and it's given us a year to do it. We've now enrolled thousands and thousands of drivers and thousands of customers and rides all over the place where we are actually available. And I never forget, one of the gentlemen I had a chance to speak with just spoke about being able to have a personal relationship with his own personal customers. He said, I know that the hashtag for Vibe is choose your vibe. He said, but I always thought that was for the customer. He said, you know what? I realized choosing your vibe was also for those who wanted to drive. He says, I've done rideshare for several companies, some of the big ones. And he says, I get into a car and I know I'll probably never see that customer again. And he said, Vibe is the first company, the only company I know that allowed me to get my own customers. I can send something to a boomerang to them. They become my customer. And whether they ride with me or whether they ride with someone else, I get paid off of them. He says, that's amazing. And he says, you know what? I don't get as much business from Vibe as I get from the other one, but I appreciate my Vibe business more than I appreciate the other one, because I know Vibe has given me an opportunity to build something that's for me. The other companies I'm building for them. Then we now have moved over to whereas you can actually choose your driver. You want that same person, you can choose them. We've now opened up whereas you can schedule your ride. And if you want to ride tomorrow, you hit the button, you schedule your ride, and that gives you more of the comfort that someone is actually going to be there because they've confirmed the day before or an hour or however long before that they're actually going to be there to pick you up. That vertical is actually growing. We switched over and then we went to another vertical. And then we went to build and we launched a concept called Zents. And our Zents product, ladies and gentlemen, was something we did in September of last year, one of our major events. And we launched, and what we wanted to do is we find technology, find products that makes what we call make Zents, if you know what I mean. And what we do is we said, let's bring something to the marketplace that's unique, something that we know can benefit humanity, something, if it has a benefit to a person and it can improve the quality of their life financially, from an emotional standpoint, whatever it may be, economic, if we can improve the quality of someone's life, we know that money is there to be made. Well, we launched this product and it's your own personal mood enhancer. Many of you had a chance to test it. And by the way, every single Zents order that has a correct address has actually officially been shipped out as of last night. We are 100% up to date. We still have about 300 plus orders, 352, I believe, that have incorrect information. And but other than that, we are 100% caught up. But that Zents product has changed a lot of people's lives. I never forget, I was in a meeting in Tampa, Florida. And I gave some samples to some people in the audience, and they were looking at me with this small little device that looks like headphones for your nostrils. Okay, that's the shape they're in. And I was talking about it, and people were thinking, why would I put something like that in my nostrils? And I gave away some samples, and one guy was sitting back like this. And this means I am not interested. I am a little negative. I'm skeptical about it. But he came up and he took the sample anyway, and I had a sample for everyone. And I gave that sample to him. He put it into his nose, and I never forget. Before I even finished the presentation, he raised his hand. He said, I have to say this. He says, listen, I don't know, and I didn't believe in this, but he was a guest. He said, I have not been able to breathe through it was either his right or left nostril. He says, for I don't know how many years. I've always congested, whatever it's been. He says, I popped this in, and he said, within 5 seconds, the thing that I notice is I'm breathing through both of my nostrils. We didn't develop it for that particular purpose. We developed it to have your own mood. But what we found is people wake up in the morning, and it's like their cup of coffee. They can't go without it. I see Mark, and Mark can't work and develop his business without it. He just can't do it, okay? And so it's been that amazing. Kids, I've seen so many different testimonials of older people, younger people. I mean, just kids that have taken that product, and I watch how happy they are. Just watch our Zents commercial and just watch the family. That is a real representation of what's taking place with our products that we have. It is, it's real. Then we launched Build Genius. And Build Genius is another vertical that I'm really excited about, where Build Genius is very simple. And if you have not used Build Genius, guys, you have to do it today. You have to do it. Build Genius is simple. We launched a technology called Build Genius. And Build Genius, you know who Bill is? You've got to meet him. Bill is a genius. And what Bill does is Bill does not like people or companies who overcharge you for a service. What Bill recognizes is that people were overpaying their bills to the tune of $61 billion a year. Every year, 61 billion. And guess what? You are one of those people, and some of those dollars belong to you. Imagine if everybody paid the accurate price and $61 billion went back into the pockets of people right here in North America. This is just North America for that one. How much happier could people be? Many people were skeptical, and they says, I don't know, this is free. I'm skeptical of free. Now, if we charge them, they'd run and have a line, but it was free. And what we found is people who are saving thousands of dollars, and it's their own money, and we're taking your own money and giving it back to you. And here's how Build Genius works. If there's no savings, if you're paying the accurate amount, you pay nothing. If Build Genius and our team saves you $1, guess what? You pay 50 cents and you keep the other 50 cents, which means that we split it in half. Build Genius gets a piece. Our ambassador gets a piece. If it's you and it's your customer, you get a piece. Your upline gets a piece of it. And that's how it works. But if it's your bill, you keep the other 50%. All right. And we have now, I think, reached almost $700,000 that we've given back to people who bills have been overpaid. So when I look at that, I say, you know what? If not one person has made $1 in our company, we've got people who made millions. You know what? That alone, that costs nothing for a customer or for a rep, is worth it. We know that we're doing something right. We know that we're doing something good with Build Genius. And then, ladies and gentlemen, when we thought about economics and we thought about, how people are saving money, here's one of the things that I learned. I said, savings is really good, but I never forget, I had someone told me something. He said, HB, you can't save your way to becoming a millionaire. And I thought about it. I'm like, what do you mean? Because all I knew, my educational level about money was very limited. And I thought, well, I'm going to save. And I start to learn the secrets of the rich. And I learned that the secrets of the rich is not money that they save and not money that they put in the savings account. I remember, and I'll tell you one story here, and I'll go and we'll take this back to Ellev8, and I'll introduce you to our head of training and education, our director of training and education. I never forget, Erlene and I were changing banks once. We had a situation whereas we didn't like the way that bank was treating us. And we were looking at our finances and things of that nature, and we're like, okay, well, you know what? We're not happy here. The level of service is not what we expected. So we took all of our accounts and we put all of those accounts somewhere else to a different bank. Okay. And, but here's one of the things that we forgot. There was one account that we had put aside at a different bank that we totally forgot about. And I say this, and I don't say this to really brag about the number. I say this for just so you understand the principle of why what we're going to talk about with Ellev8 is so important. It happened to be an account, a savings account. And this is obviously after we become very successful in things, but that savings account, it had $1 million in it, $1 million even. And later on, we were doing some things with our financial advisor, and we totally forgot about that account. And when we went back to access that account, it was well over a year later. And it was just a situation where we had never planned to touch that money anyway. It was just saving. It was sitting in a savings. Okay. It was actually for our son. And we went and got the statements. And when we rediscovered or just remembered that that was over there, we looked at the statements. And $1 million had earned us less than $1,000 of interest. I think it was about 800 and something dollars of interest. Oh, about somewhere around 1,000, yeah, in 1 year. And I never forget, someone who I admire from a financial standpoint told me, he says, listen, your money is what's called dead money. I said, well, what do you mean? I said, no, it keeps me alive. He says, no, it's dead money. He says, rich people don't keep money just sitting in savings accounts. He says, because what you're doing is you're making someone else rich. I'm like, well, how am I making someone else rich? It's saved. He says, let me share something with you. He says, one of the things that you were never taught, and our school system doesn't teach it. He says, the school system doesn't teach you how to earn money. The school system teaches you all over the world, our educational system, you know what they teach you? They teach you how to prepare to earn money from someone else. They teach you how to polish up your skills to get a paycheck, but they don't teach you ever how to be financially independent. And they never have taught one course in our public schools, and they're not allowed to, about financial independence and how to be independent financially. And I thought about it. And I said, you know what? I can't think of any courses. The closest course I can think about was home economics. And they would teach you how to bake and how to make this and how to do that, and a little bit about bank accounts or whatever. But it was all teaching us how to consume for someone else, from someone else. And I looked around and I would start to wonder, this is one of the reasons why so many people have low incomes. This is why so many people who are homeless, who would not be homeless if they just learn how to take care of it themselves. What if you could take care of it yourself? Why did I tell you that story? Because he said, the bank, that $1 million that you had in the account. He says, yeah. I said, yeah. He said, the bank by law has the power and the right by the Federal Reserve. For every dollar that you deposit, they have the right, and the Federal Reserve gives them the lending power to loan out $10 for every dollar. I said, you mean to tell me I left my money in that account? I earned less than $80 a month, and they loaned out $10 million? She says, yes. Your money, they loaned out $10 million. He says, just imagine if it was at 5% interest rate, just 5%. 5% on 10 million is what? Is that $50,000? $50,000 that they actually earned, and I made less than 1,000. They gave me 1,000, and they took the other 49,000. Why? Because of the things that they know how to do with our money. And this is why banks continue to get richer. And this is why they fund our educational systems, and they don't allow public educational systems to teach you about how your money works. And when I learned that, and I started to see it apply to me, and I saw what was happening in our economy, I decided I want to equip our people, our iBuumerang family and our extended iBuumerang family. I want to equip them with the knowledge of how to take their own money, even if it's only $100 that you've got sitting somewhere. It's your $100, because if you got $100 in the bank can loan $10, and they're charging on that. But what if you were able to take matters into your own hands? You'll never need another job application if you learn the skill. 12 years, many of us went to school, just regular school, and we never learned the skill. And what we've done is put together something called Ellev8. And here's the thing I'll tell you, it's not a get-rich thing. This is not something I want people to just say, I'm flocking into, I'm going to take a class for a week and I'm going to put my money in, I'm going to just let it ride all the way to the moon. That may happen, and you may hear stuff like that in other companies, and I don't judge that, but that's not real life. What we're talking about is a qualified educational system to put the power back in your hands. How many of you have ever just said, man, if I only had an extra $500 a month, only $500 a month. And you're sitting there, you're wondering, how am I going to do it? Who do I need to apply to a job for? What kind of skill do I need to have? You know what you need? You need just an hour a day or two, maybe a couple times a week. Pay attention. Let us teach you. Let our educators teach you what they know, what they're experts at. All of our educators, as young as some of them are, we've got young ones, we've got older ones, and guess what? They all earn their money 100% from what they're teaching. This is not a side hustle. It's what they do. And we're going to introduce that to you. We're going to bring you Ellev8. We've got something real special that we're going to give to everyone. Because we didn't launch today, we've got something special that we'll give that our head educators are going to talk about. And before I actually bring on our director of training and education, I like to go and just give you guys maybe a testimonial or two and let you see some people who've actually gone through our test phase. But ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelts. Today is still going to be phenomenal. I want you to stay tuned, pay attention. It's your time to elevate.
you doing? My name's Leon James. I'm based in Brisbane, Australia, and I've had absolutely no experience whatsoever when it comes to Forex trading. But the thing I love about the Ellev8 platform is that Forex was something that always intrigued me in the past, but it was something that it kind of intimidated me when it comes to learning it. So the thing I love about this platform is that the educators that are involved with the platform really engage you and help you understand the concepts properly. Look, they're more concerned about you getting a full and proper understanding of what they're teaching rather than getting a right answer or anything like that. I love the non-judgmental environment that they've created so that when you ask questions, you're not made to feel silly or anything like that when you're in that environment. So you can tell that they really care about you. I love Ellev8. I love what it's done for me to be able to learn this platform and what it can do for so many other people coming on board.
Hi, everyone. My name is Tara Sawyer from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And I'm here to tell you that I have absolutely no experience, zero experience in the Forex trading. I was invited to do the Project 10, and I was so excited. I almost didn't take or accept this opportunity for my fear thought, this is going to be too hard for me to learn. Well, I'm here to tell you, this girl who with grade 10 education, I have learned it. The education is phenomenal. The program is so well structured and put together. The educators are motivating and easy to understand, and they answer all the questions that you need. I am super excited to share this platform to anyone who wants to grow their wealth and expand their mind. Thank you so much for believing in me, Mr. Holton Buggs, and have a great day, guys. I can't wait to elevate with you all.
Hello, my name is Keenan Burton, and I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I have 0 years of experience as it pertains to trading Forex or any type of trading at all. The things that I like about Ellev8 is that it teaches you the basics, and then it takes you step by step as to what to do when it comes to trading like the banks, understanding trends, understanding how to read charts, all of these different things. This was something that was really foreign to me. But now I'm so much more comfortable with actually believing that this is something that I can really do. And outside of me being able to do it, if I can do it, I know that the people that I'm going to be talking to about Ellev8 can do it as well.
Hello, Boom family. This is Sapphire Leroy from the beautiful island of Bermuda. First and foremost, I'd like to thank our amazing CEO, Mr. Holton Buggs, for letting me be a part of the Project 10 and to learn more about Ellev8. First of all, I've never known anything about trading or Forex trading, but I can tell you this, since the last few weeks that I've been in the classes, I've learned so much. I'd like to give thanks for the educators who have educated me so far. That's Miss Ash, Super K, John, and Big Chief. Not only do they teach us how to learn quickly in this company, but they also teach us how to elevate our mind. So I'd encourage all our ambassadors to be a part of Ellev8, and let's all get it. Boom.